should be recording now. Yep. Okay, let's go to today's.
Hi, Marcus.
Hello there.
Hi, Marcus. Welcome just in time. So, and so that's great. All four of you are there, so well done. So just probably mostly for Ben's benefit, if you didn't pick this up yesterday, it's not something you have to do, but Hegarty Maths is doing live lessons most afternoons at 2 o'clock. And it's all to do with bridging the gap between GCSE and A level. So they're well worth joining in if you want. Or perhaps even better still, he's then recording them all, and you can just pick them up on YouTube. So any of these that he's done in recent weeks, if you fancy just going back over those, I mean, they tend to be the types of thing we're looking at anyway, but if you just want to have a look at those, you can actually watch his videos, and he's got some nice stuff that you can download, the teacher notes and also the student bits too.
Was that all the stuff in the video yesterday?
Yeah, I mentioned that slide you're seeing at the moment, Ben. I mentioned yesterday. Yeah. So all I'm saying, that's a separate thing you could choose to do. Obviously, what I'm doing as well is just doing similar things. Each lesson, I'm picking a topic, which is we're doing at A level, just chatting you through it a bit, and then each time I've now moved over to each piece of work being an Hegarty quiz, because it's so much easier. Well, for both of us, it's easier for me because it automatically marks, and it's obviously easier for you guys because you can straight away just get your percentage and you don't have to worry about uploading anything. So after the live bit of the lesson, what's great is if you then just go over and have a go at the corresponding Hegarty quiz, which obviously I tell you what it is each time. So so really just again, well, for everybody's benefit, we had 2 or 3 homeworks right at the beginning where I was giving out like Corbett Maths worksheets and what have you. And in hindsight, I don't think that was a particularly bright thing for me to do, because they're all 4 or 5 pages long, and that's a real pain in the neck for you guys to have to upload. So I've moved away from those. So I think in a way, those first couple of homeworks, if you've got them to me, they're all well and good. But if not, let's just sort of draw the line there and just start with the Hegarty quizzes. So really what I'd like you all to really have as your goal is to get good quiz marks on all the Hegarty quizzes. So these are all the ones we've had so far. 913, 914, 915, 917 are the 4 up to today, and then 918 is going to be today's, and they are all on differentiation. So I would suggest you start at the beginning. You know, if you get a rubbish percentage, just do it again. You can do it as many times if you want. And I just think from your point of view, I mean, it's good for 2 things. It's obviously very good for you bridging the gap through to A level. But I also think what's going to start happening is I'm going to have Mr. Smith and Mrs. Miskin saying to me and to Miss Cummins, you know, are all the kids who are thinking of doing A level keeping up to date? And it's all well and good if you're attending the lessons, that's great. But what I really need is some evidence. So if you can be getting good marks on these quizzes, then you know, that's some good evidence that I can say, oh yeah, so and so's done 4 out of 5 of the quizzes and they've done well in all of them and what have you. So don't beat yourself up if you don't get 100%. I mean, by definition, these are all difficult ones. So I don't want you to keep on going until you get 100%. You know, this is difficult stuff. So anything sort of, let's say 60% and above, I think that's fine. But I just think, I mean, Alex, you're pretty much up to date. I think the rest of you have got gaps and what have you. But if you could just go back and try and work your way through those, that would be excellent. So today's, so still on, oh yeah, by the way, well done, Marcus and Alex, you got 100% yesterday. That was really good, well done. So today's one, and we've touched on this before, today's differentiation lesson is very much relating differentiation to real life. So we're moving from displacement. Now, just to remind you, displacement is really just the distance you've traveled in a specific direction. So S is displacement, so that's the distance traveled. And if you differentiate S, displacement, you get velocity, because the rate of change of distance, you know, how quickly you are covering distance, that is the speed you are going at. So if you differentiate S, displacement, you get velocity. And then velocity, remember, is just speed in a specific direction. And the rate of change of velocity, how quickly your speed is changing, that is acceleration. So you need to get clear in your mind that if you start off with s, like this question here, we're going to do in a minute, if you go and differentiate s, so you do, you differentiate it with respect to time, so you work out ds dt, you get velocity. And then if you were to differentiate that again, dv dt, you would get acceleration. So if you start off with an equation for s, like the one here, differentiate it once, you've got a v equation. Differentiate it again, you have an a equation. And I think pretty much all the questions you're going to be doing today, please, Hegarty 918, it's going to be like that. So I just thought we would just have a quick look at what they consider to be one of the harder ones. So we'll just do question number 14, and then I'll leave you to it to have a go at the quiz. Okay, so they tell us the distance s in meters of a moving object after t seconds is given by the formula s equals blah, blah, blah. Right, now, so s equals 9t cubed minus 3t plus 4. So we differentiate it first of all. That's called ds dt, and that gives us the velocity. So remember how you differentiate. You go from term to term to term. You multiply by the current power, and then reduce the power by 1. So multiply by the current power, 9 3s are 27, and then we reduce the power by 1, so t cubed becomes t squared. So that's 9t cubed becomes 27t squared. If you remember, anything times t just becomes the coefficient of the t. So minus 3t becomes minus 3. And again, to remind you why that is, t is really to the power of 1. So you'd multiply by the 1. Minus 3 times 1 is minus 3. And you would reduce the power by 1. So 1 would become 0. And remember, anything to the power of 0 is 1. So that's why you're left with minus 3. But in short, just remember, whenever you've got so many lots of t and you differentiate, you're just left with the coefficient bit. And the coefficient just falls away, okay? So the plus 4 is gone. So make sure you're clear that when you differentiate 9t cubed minus 3t plus 4, you do indeed get 27t squared minus 3. And that is our velocity equation. We've gone from distance to velocity. Now, when we differentiate that again, that gives us the acceleration equation. So we just go and repeat what we just did. Multiply by the current power, 2 lots of 27 is 54. Reduce the power by 1, so t squared becomes t to the power of 1, which is just t. And now the minus 3 falls away. So our acceleration equation is just 54 lots of t. So having got our acceleration equation, the question just asks us to work out the acceleration after 4 seconds. So you just pop 4 into this equation. 54 times 4 is this. And your work is done. So that's all there is to it, okay? Moving from distance to velocity to acceleration. So what I want you guys to do, if you could go and have a go at that quiz, that would be great. Your choice whether you want to watch the video first or not. He might give you some different insight into it. And I guess if you're getting stuck on the questions, it's pretty important you do go back and watch the video, just for something that I might have missed. Okay. And then just to remind you, this will upload onto Teams in about 10 minutes time, and I will then put it up onto YouTube. So I'll leave you to it. Anyone got any questions? No? Okay, that's it then, guys. No. Okay, cheers then, guys. So good luck with that. I'll stop the recording and I'll leave it.
Boys.
Cheers, guys. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.